I get pushback from pastors when I talk about stop being a high touch shepherd because they really enjoy the role. And I can tell you that at one point in my life, I actually operated as a high touch shepherd. And I really did enjoy it. I loved getting together with people. I loved the way that they responded to me. I was able to invest deeply into their lives and see God change them. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with this role. And every now and then I get a call from pastors who say, I really want God to use me in a greater way. And I believe that God's call is on my life to pastor a larger church, not a larger church in terms of numbers, but a church that's making a bigger impact in the gospel. And I appreciate their kind of thinking too, because they have shifted their thinking about what the word shepherd means. When I think about the word shepherd, I think about Psalm 23, where David talks about God being our shepherd, and that God didn't just personally care for the sheep, but he led them where they needed to go. He led them to green pastures. He led them to a place where they could rest. He led them through the valley of the shadow of death so that they didn't have to fear evil. Shepherding is not just one thing, it's multiple things. And so when I say be a pastor shepherd, we're really looking at the life of Jesus and his ministry. When we think about Jesus, we're often thinking about the 12 disciples, that Jesus shepherded 12 people, and that's what he did for his entire ministry. That would be a mistake. That would be a misreading of the Gospels. Remember that Jesus sent out his disciples on mission journeys, and at one point, he didn't just send the 12, he sent 72. In other words, there were other disciples being prepared by Jesus, not just the 12. And there were times when Jesus had huge crowds following him, and he was actually shepherding them too. He was teaching them things like what we call the Sermon on the Mount, and the Beatitudes, and how to pray, and how to fast, and how to think about the law, and choosing the narrow way over the broad way. And so when you think about shepherding, you have to look at the life of Jesus and say, how did he shepherd people? Yes, he had an inner circle that he was investing in, but he was investing in them not merely as their personal shepherd, but to prepare them for greater things than he was doing, because he was going to go back to the Father. When you look at shepherding for yourself, ask yourself this question. Number one, who is my inner circle? Who am I investing in right now to prepare them to do the work of the ministry and become my co-workers in this process? The reason why we have to ask this question is because these are the people who will help you expand the gospel footprint of your church in your community. They may go out and start daughter congregations, or they may personally shepherd people who are coming in to free you up so that you can continue to do the thing that you need to do. Secondly, ask yourself, are people adequately being taken care of even though you can't personally touch them? If the answer is no, then you need to think about, how will I raise up the people who will take care of everyone else so that I'm free to do what God has made me to do? Think about this as you begin to process how to move from being a high-touch shepherd to a pastor shepherd.